So yeah,
But yeah,
and it makes no sense when you look at the moves the current U.S. administration is making. Yeah, it's like it doesn't make sense. You are. It's that thing where I said, but it looks like the U.S. empire is drinking poison and expecting its enemies to die.
Yeah.
Drink poison and then you sit and look at your enemy and wait for them to die.
But I look at it as the concept of a Trojan horse. Of who would see the Trojan horse will infiltrate and it'll look like you, it'll behave like you, but it is not on your side. That's how I think of what's going on in America. It's like whether it's intentional or unintentional, at the end of the day, it just seems like they're sitting with the Trojan horse.
Bro, they have said they want to dismantle Department of Education, the States, America. Can you imagine? That's what they have said. They've come out and said it. I couldn't believe it when I heard it. Because there's another geopolitical thinker. He's an investor. He's an international investor. His name is Ray Dalio. You must look him up. He talks about the changing world order.
Yeah.
And what are some of the things that lead to that? And then he talks about how empires emerge. One of the core elements he identified in each empire or civilization that ever rose to power is education. In the US, they seem to want to make their people more ignorant. More dumbed down.
Yeah.
You know, so it doesn't make sense if you're saying, make America great again. We are going to dismantle education. Wait, what?
The very foundation.
How though? Like, this is one of the key ingredients.
The foundation.
That makes any empire, state, civilization great. You're saying you want to dismantle this thing.
Because the right education dictates what's going to happen in the next 10, 20 years.
You know what I mean?
Maybe even 50.
So it just shows you the decline is obvious. To me, anyway, as I'm looking, I'm just like every move they're making. And then there was that thing with the American intelligence busy having a chat on Signal about plans of attack on the Houthis in Yemen.
Yeah.
Talking about when they're going to do what. And then somehow on that Signal chat group, a journalist was added there.
Wow.
And then the journalist reported that I got added into this group and they were busy talking sensitive stuff. Kanti, I thought in America, you know, I think the Pentagon or the White House, something, they have war room for such situation to discuss the such sensitive matters. Not on a chat in an insecure public platform. You know what I mean? And then you're not hacked. You add a journalist. How? You know, I spoke to my friend Pusho. Pusho is a political mind. I was like, Pusho though, icon. Even if you, like, how do you, and then I thought it's just stupid. But he was like, wasn't this planned though? Because, look, man, I have observed the US empire politically over time. There are certain blunders I have never seen. Especially such issues of security. Like, they're very sensitive about their security.
Well, they were apparently.
Yeah.
Were past tense, I guess.
All of a sudden, they're having discussions about plans of attack on an enemy. And, you know, you can imagine if that kind of information lands in the hands of the enemy, how much it puts at risk their own soldiers, their own servicemen, their own operatives. So, you know, it's just, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, but this is decline, Mus. And then I've had this conversation with Uposho and we agreed that you look at in history at the decline of all civilizations, empires. We can take Rome for an example.
Yeah.
When the empire starts to deploy to highest office imbeciles, this is what you start to see. You start to see, you determine a people by who leads them. And that's why in Africa, I'm so concerned about leadership.
Mm.
Because you see, there's a huge difference between Cyril Ramaphosa and Ibrahim Traore. Huge difference. Huge difference. Leadership makes all the difference. And so when I'm looking at the US, I'm thinking, wow, just look at this cabinet pick. I think is it Minister of Education or Secretary of Education or something? But the lady responsible for education, Linda McMahon. Does that sound familiar?
From wrestling.
You used to watch wrestling growing up.
Yeah.
WWE. A WWE exec is in charge of education.
Hectic.
From selling that scripted show of wrestling to education.
Hey, listen, man. It is debatable if it's scripted or not. Some of us, we think wrestling is real.
Oh boy. If you think that's real, my friend, I worry about you.
Yeah.
For me, I can just say that's scripted, baby. But I mean, hey, let's not get into that debate.
Let's not get involved.
But I'm just saying, this is who is in charge of education. And then you look at the guy who's in charge of health. I think it's JFK Jr. or something. Yeah, I mean, you must look at the guy. The guy is incoherent when he talks. The guy looks like he's pretty much on his deathbed, like, and he's in charge of health.
Yes, sir.
So I'm just saying, you look at the pics. I'm not convinced
It's just odd.
that is the best of American society, especially when I listen to other American thinkers, economists like your Jeffrey Sachs, your Wolf, the one whose video we're gonna play.
Yeah.
There's quite a lot of resources intellectually in the US who could drive the state, and maybe still maintain some kind of American relevancy in the world. But they seem to have just picked everyone who's gonna. I mean, then they brought Elon Musk, Doge.
These are not people who are here to stay.
I mean,
These are people who are going elsewhere to find their money.
and then he comes through and he's slashing everything that has to benefit ordinary working class people. Social security, retirement, and retirement. They're slashing all that stuff. Healthcare, that.
But even in this country, we've got that going on.
There's a lot, and that's why you look at this and you see there's a global element to this thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem our leaders are by themselves in their heads. There's a voice whispering in their ear. Make this move.
Yeah.
Your next right move is this. Move the pawn to H7. You know what I mean?
Your money, OCGF.
OCGFC, baby.
OCGFC.
The owners and controllers of global financialized capital. You understand? And so, hey, maybe it's conspiracy theory, but for me, it makes a lot of sense, this kind of geopolitical analysis.
It's easy to understand. I think in a country like ours, it's easy to understand it because we've got Rupert and we've got these, and so we can see it in front of us and we can go, oh, okay, this is what's going on here.
Money runs the game.
There's a money guy.
Money runs the game.
Yeah. Hey, but well, honestly, I know America, so it's allowing us to figure ourselves out in other countries as well. So
There you go.
yeah.
It's one of the things that Ushahid Bolson says. This is the time for you to take the opportunity to claim true sovereignty and stand on your own. As the world order is being reorganized and everything, and America is becoming irrelevant.
Time to find the window.
And America is isolating itself. Why do we still have politicians telling us to kiss Trump's ass? I mean, that's why I said leadership in Africa. Gayton Mackenzie said we must kiss Trump's ass, otherwise millions of our people are going to die. So that's your leader. Not we have thought about this, we saw this coming, and we have an alternative plan. No. We're in trouble now. Don't upset Mr. Trump. Oh, okay, let's lick his ass rather. That's what Gaten McKenzie said. No, not even kiss his ass. Lick his ass. I'll lick us for my people to survive. Gaten McKenzie. Patriotic Alliance. See, patriots. See, these kinds of names. these things just show you the kind of vision the people you are dealing with have. Look, man, I don't have a problem with patriotism, but I think sometimes it can blind you to this view that the OCGFC have of the world map. You looking at things like a pedestrian. They are eagles. You can't even see them, but they see you and everything else.
Yeah.
So, it has its limitations, man, this thing of patriotism. I understand it in the world we live in currently, and the kind of setup that we have as it relates to borders, nationality, and everything. I understand. And the issues that come up with immigration and. But all I'm saying, can we expand our view a little?